You're watching Chillyboy Productions. I'm Larry, Chillyboy Chilson, and this is our latest Sports Talk Live. Yeah, this is already our 5th episode in this series, and it's leading into the 6th week of the NFL. Plus, we just have a ton of sports news buzzing around before we even get into the NFL. But if you are not already subscribed and just happen to stumble upon this video, go ahead and click subscribe down below so that you can chill with me on each and every one of my new videos, including every one of our weekly sports live streams. Now, as usual, I am joined by my co-host of the Sports Talks live program. We have Tyler Calvert.
Hey,
Hey, Tyler.
always great to be back. Every week I wonder if I'm going to be alive after every Ravens game with the way that they end up going almost every single week so far this year. This week is no different.
They better have lots of charged up defibrillators ready to go in Baltimore every single week.
I'm exhausted every week, every weekend after every game this year, other than the Broncos game, unfortunately. Sorry, Larry. Other than that game, I've been on the edge of my seat, heart pain by the end of the game.
Well, then this week, Leo, he's like VIP status, so he's not here tonight with us. But we have a wonderful fill-in, someone who participates weekly in our picks over on Twitter for sure. We have Lo from the Suit Up Geeks Podcast. Hi, Lo.
Hello, good evening, you guys. Thank you for having me, Larry. Hello, Tyler. I'm really pleased to be here. I don't think enough film heads talk about sports, and I know there are sports fans out there, so I think this show is super necessary for the film and sports nerd communities. So,
well, we have a non-sports fan that dropped in. He might talk a little bit of basketball with us, but yes,
what's up, Dwayne?
We originally had this scheduled for 7, 7 Mountain. I'm in Mountain time, an hour ago, basically. But we're here. We're here now. We got lots of updates. I wasn't gonna call him out by name, but there he is. It rhymes with Schwain. In the comments. We love you.
We were talking Scream. What can I say?
Hi, Network 98. Thanks for joining us once again.
Hello.
Well, before we get into all of the NFL talk, Lo, I know that is mostly your area of expertise. Am I correct?
Oh yeah, you're correct. But at the same time, I appreciate sports, so I'm along for the ride.
Listen, look, see, he don't need Dwayne. What city did the Raiders move to, Dwayne? No Google. Answer quickly.
It's not a good time to be a Raiders fan right now.
Woo, yeah, we'll get into that at the beginning of that. But before we get into the NFL, let's go ahead and talk the other worlds of sports, because there's a lot buzzing right now, period. And there will be even more buzzing come next week. So it's a fun time. But as you can see, my little Funko Pops, we always kick off with my NASCAR love. And we start with the world of stock car racing. So NASCAR this weekend saw the round of 12 come to a conclusion in the playoffs. Kyle Larson actually won his 7th race of the season so far, which is just nuts, seeing as he got caught saying something racist last year over iRacing and was fired from his job, was kicked out of NASCAR for a while. But he repented. He actually went to a couple of like diversity sensitivity type of training stuff, and got a new job and has come back with a vengeance. Thanks, Amanda. We have just a tinge of hockey talk in here, Amanda. So, yay, Canada. But Kyle Larson wins. Yay, Kyle Larson. I'm not a big fan still. He hasn't won me over still quite yet. But we had 4 drivers that were eliminated from the playoffs this weekend, including past champion Kevin Harvick, Christopher Bell, William Byron, and Alex Bowman. And we had a little bit of drama as Kevin Harvick took Chase Elliott out, or at least tried to, wrecked him.
Oh, no.
Chase Elliott still rode back and made it to the next round of the playoffs, while Kevin Harvick crashed and was eliminated. So lots of drama there. Well, in the world, and this weekend will be at Texas Motor Speedway with the final 8, including both of my little NASCAR Funko Pops. Ryan Blaney and Martin Truex Jr. are still in the hunt for the championship. So, yay. Well, speaking of another sport that is currently in their playoffs, the MLB. Dwayne, your city is still alive in the MLB playoffs.
I don't like either team that's alive still in the ALCS. So,
Lord, so the Boston Red Sox downed the Tampa Bay Rays just barely 6-5 this past Monday to win their series 3-1. I know that Alex, our friend Alex Madden, is hyped right now. I also know Alyssa from Mainly Movies is also hyped right now. I didn't realize actually she was a Sox fan. So there you go. Until these playoffs. I mean, Maine doesn't have a team, so what you gotta do?
Yeah.
Gotta
we have a team here, but they're not very good right now. So I kind of just ignore that they exist.
I mean, it's kind of same with Colorado. We're like, okay, Rockies. But the Houston Astros also won their series, beating the Chicago White Sox 10-1 in their last game to win that series 3-1. And the Atlanta Braves have secured their spot, beating the Milwaukee Brewers 5-4 to win their series 3-1. The only series left to decide is the LA Dodgers versus San Fran. So the Dodgers beat San Francisco Giants 7-2 to tie that series up 2-2. So that final game is tomorrow. Are you a Giants fan, Lo?
I will say this because everybody from San Francisco hates bandwagon fans. I'm not going to front. I'm not really into baseball, but I support my soil. So if they're doing great, hell yeah. But I'm not going to say I'm a fan. I don't really watch baseball, but go Giants.
I mean, I feel like everybody outside of LA hates the Dodgers. So everybody in Colorado does not like the Dodgers, at least. So we're pulling for you here in Colorado. We want the Giants to win this series.
I couldn't care less about who wins any of these series.
Well, the American League Championships, the Red Sox versus the Astros, starts on October 15th. Tyler, very unenthusiastic.
I will not be tuning in.
Just for Alex and Alyssa's sake, I'll say go Red Sox.
I will not.
Sorry, no.
I hate the Red Sox. Obviously, I'm an Orioles fan, so that's self-explanatory. And then you also have the Astros, who are notorious for being epic cheaters. So no. Screw them. And the fact that they had some bad blood with the Orioles all those years ago, back when the Orioles were still good.
Well, Canadian girl up in here. The hockey season began yesterday. Yay! The NHL is back on the ice. And we saw the Golden Knights win their first game over the Seattle Kraken. How do we feel about that name, that rebrand they did the last couple
I
of
think
years?
it's cool.
The Kraken.
I think it's a cool name, at least.
I thought it was a joke, but hey, that's cool, you know?
No, not a joke. Seattle, they got to stick with their water roots. It's all aquatic over in the Washington area, that bay up north of the real bay.
I want them to bring back the Supersonics in basketball. That's all I ask.
I think my only issue is was the Kraken in Seattle? Wasn't it in the Atlantic and the Caribbean or something? I don't know.
It's not real. It doesn't matter.
What is really a Seahawk? Most of their stuff isn't real. It's like these weird amalgamations of animals and mythical creatures up in Seattle, I guess. They're a weird bunch. Grunge started there. Seattle is known to be very eclectic overall. So
I do like me some grunge.
They're a weird little group, but we love you, Seattle. To an extent, I suppose.
You've been there a couple times, didn't you, for the conventions, right?
I did. That's where I first met one of the loves of my life, Tom Holland, was in Seattle.
All right, that guy.
But then the Pittsburgh Penguins beat the Tampa Bay Lightning to kick off the season. Yay. I'm not really a Penguins fan. I'm sorry.
I'm not a hockey fan in general. Like, I mean, I don't like them just because the Capitals, the closest team, doesn't like them either.
Yeah.
So,
well, right
rivalry.
now, actually, the Avalanche are kicking off their season against the Blackhawks. So a nice rivalry game to kick off the Avs season. The rivalry is not quite as fiery as it once was back in when both of our teams were really good. Recently, the Avs have been good, but the Blackhawks.
I guess if we're talking about goofy team names, I think Avalanche also applies to a kind of crazy team name.
Colorado, we like to stick with our landscape here. It's all about the Colorado things. The Avalanche, the Rockies, the Broncos.
Is there like a mascot for the Avalanche? Is it just a giant like wave of snow?
He's a Saint Bernard because those are the Avalanche rescue dogs.
Oh, that's not
they put the little things on them, and the Saint Bernards go help people survive avalanche.
I didn't know that, and I now appreciate your guys' team. Go St. Bernard.
Yeah, but the St. Bernards would be cool.
The Rockies have a Triceratops as their mascot because the first Triceratops skeleton was found right where the Rocky Stadium is. So there you go. The more you know about Colorado mascot.
Our mascots are pretty straightforward. Oriole bird. Ravens because of Edgar Allan Poe. We used to have 3 mascots actually, and they got rid of 2 because they downsized. I guess it cost too much to have 3 mascots. You know, usually people just have 1. We had 3 for a while there, but now it's just Poe.
Just Poe. I know.
Yeah, we actually did have Edgar Allan and Poe, but now it's just Poe.
Yeah, the Rapids, there's the weird one because they have a bunch of different animals that go out on that field. So, but it's soccer. Nobody in the U.S. pays much attention to the major league soccer anyway. So
I probably couldn't name 3 soccer teams.
Well, now you've got one at least, the Colorado Rapids.
I think it's like the Rapids, and isn't there one that's like the Galaxy?
Yes, there is.
I only know that because the Chargers played in their stadium and had like nobody there.
Oh, the Chargers. Yeah, that's still. They're starting to get bandwagon fans, though. They are. They're coming out the woodwork to jump on the Charger train now this season.
All of a sudden, everybody's a Chargers fan when they have no home games, basically.
Well, let's go ahead and kick into the NFL then. So the big story this week, Jon Gruden resigns as the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders after emails surface of him being racist, him being misogynistic, him being homophobic, all of the icks.
Yeah, he really kind of just checked all the boxes when it comes to offending everyone.
So how do you feel about all that, Lo?
It's despicable, and it's unfortunate too because, like, I mean, I don't say I like the guy, but I would say that, like, you know, when he did commentary on Monday Night Football, I thought he was entertaining and he had his own little segments, and I thought he was a fun guy to listen to. But at the same time, just seeing what he said, it's like, dude, I don't know if there's any return from that. I don't know if he'll ever have a career in the NFL again, and frankly, it's disrespectful and it's uncalled for in this league. So.
Yeah, and people can try to. I mean, it wasn't that long ago, y'all. Like, it's not it's not like an email from the 90s or no. It was very recent.
There's no place for that.
And yeah, I mean, he's dissing female referees. So I mean, just on that basis, it's like, well, he obviously doesn't respect the refereeing, which we at home don't respect refereeing, but for more legitimate reasons, I'd say.
As far as refereeing goes, I hate referees regardless of gender because of the calls they make. I don't care if it's a woman making the calls or a man making the calls. If you just make a bad call, you make a bad call.
Yeah, and I don't know, much like oh God, I blanked on his stupid name again. Sterling, from the NBA.
No, the Clippers guy.
Yeah, I find it really insidious when leaders in these predominantly Black sports who work with a lot of Black athletes, like pretty much 50% of your league is Black, and for you to come out and, I don't know, be racist behind the scenes. And it just feels really kind of grimy, and even more so than just a normal racist, if you will.
Right. Yeah.
Because there's also, whether a team owner, he had a lot of weird slave undertones in what he was doing. And I kind of feel that way on head coaches too. I don't know. It really calls into question how you're viewing your players, the people who make it so you can even earn a living and get money. And then it's also particularly gross. This happened before they drafted him, but the Raiders were the first team to have an openly active gay football player in the NFL playing now. And then their head coach comes out with all of this homophobia talk behind the scenes. So it's just gross all the way around. Tyler, have anything to add on Gruden?
I mean, it sucks, definitely. But I mean, unlike Lowe, I actually have never been a big Jon Gruden fan. I've always thought he was just a really annoying personality. I never liked him as a commentator, especially as a coach. Even when he originally coached the Raiders and then he coached the Buccaneers, I always just thought he wasn't that great of a coach. I've always found his Super Bowl to kind of have a big asterisk on it because of the fact that he won a Super Bowl basically with Tony Dungy's team, and then he beat his old team to win the Super Bowl. So it's kind of like whatever. Like you got a ring, I guess, but like you didn't build the team. Like Tony Dungy built that team, and then he was let go. He went to the Colts, and then Jon Gruden comes in, wins reasonable. I guess there's debates on that Super Bowl and whether it was rigged or not because of the insider kind of stuff going on. Yeah. But as far as the comments go, I mean they speak for themselves how terrible they are. I mean he offended every potential, I guess, person you could offend, pretty much. I guess except white people, maybe like straight white men, maybe he seems to not have any respect for people of color, women, especially anyone that's gay of any kind. It makes you wonder how he was able to succeed so long in the league being that way. But I guess the league kind of has double standards when it comes to a lot of that stuff, the problematic nature, and hopefully with this kind of punishment that he's had, maybe that'll shift things in the right direction when it comes to kind of weeding out that kind of stuff, players and coaches in general, because there's a lot of people in the league that are playing right now that also have other problems, domestic violence and all that stuff. So you kind of have to take it with a grain of salt, but also you have to, there needs to be worldwide change when it comes to the league. And I think hopefully this is the start of that, especially because, he's getting punished so much, whether it be just the fact that he's basically getting erased, I guess you could say. He's quitting, and then the Ring of Honor for the Bucks, they're removing him from the Ring of Honor. They're removing him out of Madden, actually. I saw that recently, that they're going to remove him out of Madden as well. So we're kind of just erasing him. So I doubt we're going to see him again anytime soon. I feel bad for the Raiders organization because they have to now, I guess, kind of just rebuild, reshuffle, because he was basically their manager. Like he wasn't technically their GM, like Mayock's their GM, but he had the saying power in their decision making, and he also called their plays. So, and he was their coach, of course. So it's gonna take a while for them, I think, to get their bearings right. But I remember when the news first broke with the emails, and I was like, well, I figured he'd be fine. I figured he would be fine just in the initial emails that that were leaked about him and things he said about DeMaurice Smith. Like, yes, it was vile for him to say, but he's a straight white man in the league, and he's a person of power. I figured he'd get a slap on the wrist, and then all the rest of the stuff came out, and then he resigned. It's like, oh well, that's pretty bad. Like he
pretty much beat the punch in his resignation. Was just like, let me get out before I just get fired.
Yeah, it seemed like one of those resignations where it's like you either leave on your own terms and say you quit, or we're gonna fire you. So,
well, hi, Tripping Critics. Thank you so much for coming back. We missed you as well, and we'll be talking about them soon. But yeah, especially this year. I mean, we had, and then Derek Carr coming out to kind of defend him. And I'm like, you're.
I don't know if I wouldn't necessarily say he was defending him.
It was trying to soften, I guess.
I feel like he was trying to be understanding in the sense that in a general sense, like you can try, and you're not trying to forgive him, like you're just disappointed in him, and hopefully, because it has been so much time since that's passed, maybe he's had a change of heart on some of those comments he's made, because that's at least the hope anyways, that because people can be set in their ways and then change over time. Jon Gruden never seemed like someone that has ever changed his philosophies or views on things, so I kind of doubt it going with Jon Gruden. But at least Derek Carr was trying his best to make
I will say it's just
the best of a bad situation.
A little bit weird for their white star quarterback straight guy to be like, oh, he's not racist at all. And it's like, well, of course, I mean, Derek.
It was bad
you
timing.
wouldn't have been like on the brunt end of that, Mr. Carr. But no, like I don't think Derek Carr needs to get like canceled or anything. It's just like maybe not yet, Derek. Let some of your teammates, they can voice their opinions. I think first let your black teammates and such come forward before you, and just chill for a sec.
It is an interesting, I guess, ironic thing though, especially the homophobic comments with, of course, them having Carl Nassib on the team, because he's recently been on the team because he wasn't originally on the Raiders, but he's now, of course, on the Raiders now. But you would think if he was homophobic, he wouldn't want him on the team, especially because I guess he didn't know, so maybe that's how he got by. Now it's too late because he came out and he's on the team, and you don't want to cut him because of that, because he'll look homophobic. But I mean, I like Carl Nassib.
And overall, I do think that's kind of what was the disappointing aspect. It seems that the entire organization actually seemed very open and very accepting and very. I mean, I thought they handled the whole thing really well, being the first one in the league to do it while they were still active. So I don't know. It just it sucks when your team seems to be so open about it, and then it's like, oh well, we don't know.
You never really know.
I guess the Raiders probably thank you for their service for the time.
Well, he got like a bunch of money to coach with them, so he's probably gonna he'll be fine financially.
Regular life, I see. You're more on the side of not punishing Gruden, I guess. But he's making a shit ton of money for not having a job anymore because they have to pay him out for that contract. So
I figured he was just gonna get fined. Yeah. I figured he was just going to get fined or a slap on the wrist, but I don't know, because it's one of those things, because there are people with criminal records that are still playing. Well, so it's one of those things where you can't be closed-minded to that as well. So it's one of those tough situations. Like, where do you draw the line when it comes to punishing people that are still in the league, that are still playing and have jobs?
Yeah, we're certainly not like repeating anything he said. Chirping critics, just kind of talking about the overall subject of what was in there. So I'm sorry if it was triggering for you. But
right, yeah. I mean, I apologize. I made sure I didn't repeat anything that he said. Just that it was slanted the criticisms towards the minorities and all that stuff.
So it's lots of coaching drama so far this season. We're talking about
Urban Meyers.
We're talking about Urban Meyers. Not good, but a little bit more fun. Ridiculous controversy last week compared to Gruden's this week. But I'm sure Jacksonville and Urban Meyer specifically were like, woo! Yes, another coach just took the attention off of me.
Right. Honestly, I haven't heard anything about Urban Meyer this last couple days.
Yeah, no, Urban's gone silent in the news source. But as for the game itself, Tyler, you are intimate with this next subject. Overtimes.
Give me a break here.
This season, we've already had 8 total overtime games this year. 1 at least every single week of the season. Many weeks with 2. So far, Baltimore, Las Vegas, Cincinnati, and the Tennessee Titans have all played 2 overtime games up to 6.
Give me a break.
Funny enough, Baltimore and Las Vegas played each other in one of those overtime games.
That's our loss. That's our one loss so far.
So, I mean, how do we feel about all this damn overtime? And even when it's not overtime, it's like within a score. Like almost everywhere you look, it's either the Bills blowing somebody out or it's within like a touchdown or a field goal. Always. Mm-hmm. Lo, how you feeling watching all this? It's close games across the board.
I feel like Green Bay and Baltimore have been in so many close, hard-fought contests. Like, what are you guys going to do in the playoffs? Y'all are going to run out of gas, man. You guys need to, like, either win or just take it easy a week.
Playoffs is where that's where the teams succeed.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see, though. It's a long season now with the extra game, and it's exciting. I'm not going to lie. As an outsider from these games, especially, like, I've only been in a couple close ones, but it's been fun. It's been fun to watch, and I have to admit the Bengals Packers game in particular. I don't think anybody wanted to win that game.
That was a mess.
They were not trying to win. They were just trying to see how long they can go until someone just quits. Like,
yeah, this week was probably our first close game. Came down to a touchdown at the end of the game. Otherwise, obviously, we lost handedly to the Ravens, and we were in control of those first 3 games. So hasn't really been close on the Broncos side of the ball until this Steelers game, and even then, the first 3 quarters of it weren't close at all until the Broncos decided, hey, let's play some offense to close this game out, shall we?
I'm a big Teddy fan. He played his ass off. It's just offensive line issues. You couldn't finish on third down. I don't know if that was play calling, but Teddy played his ass off, minus that last throw.
I mean, and that last throw, I mean, that was like desperation. I mean, he marched him down to the goal post, but
he was a gamer in Pittsburgh too.
But even we talk about him every week on here because I'm always trying to pick them. Minnesota is not on this list. They've had 1 overtime. Every single game of theirs, except for last week, has been within like a field goal. Like they are losing by field goal.
Yeah.
Yes, chirping. He does. He is. Just look up his name, Tyler Calvert. And you can find his channel and subscribe to him. Make sure to do so.
It's true. I'm here quite often, actually.
Yeah, he's over here often. Search up his name and you'll find him in a little orange box with his head.
Yeah, that is me. Can confirm.
But the other theme of the season, we just talked about it: missed field goals. Field goal.
It was a record this week.
Field goal. Yes, Tyler. What was our record this week?
What the record for most, like all the misses? I think it was. Well, it was 12 going into the Sunday night game. I don't remember how many misses there were in the Sunday night game. I know that Rodrigo Blankenship missed a couple of field goals in the Monday night game because that's how we stayed alive.
So that went way over.
Yeah,
and that's and field goals and extra points. It's not just field goals, and it's not just field goals. It's not just extra points. It's both. Like extra points are supposed to be easy.
Well, there was a team that set a new record for missing field goals this weekend.
The Jags. That was hilarious. I saw that stat and I howled. I had to share it in the group chat. You could tell it, Larry.
Oh yeah. So the Jags, the first team.
They might as well just start going for 5 if they're gonna just give away the ball.
Honestly.
Yeah. So we talked about it. The big news, obviously, was that Green Bay Packers versus Cincinnati Bengals game.
What a game, right?
Crosby, who actually, I mean, I guess sometimes you got to have a bad day. He's usually pretty dependable as a kicker in the league. Not Sunday. I don't know. I thought maybe somebody paid him off to let the Bengals win.
He's had weird stretches where he'll miss a couple field goals. Like he's the last couple of years, especially
3 in a row plus the extra point. So
it was bad. It was a bad.
I think after the second one, I think he was in his head because that third one he missed was a chip shot, and he just whiffed it. I was like, "Oh, he's down bad."
Well, that's why it was hilarious.
Must have been in McPherson. Also, must have been in his head because he was missing them right on the other side. They'd march one way, miss a field goal. March the other way, miss a field goal. He misses 2.
He thought he made it,
including celebrating. He celebrated in overtime because he thought he made it.
He made it.
Missed it wide. And then I'm going to be honest, y'all. I said go for it. I did not trust Crosby in overtime. I said let Rodgers kick the damn field goal at this point. Anybody, like, what is going on? This is nuts.
They could have not had to deal with overtime at all if they just made one of those extra points or a field goal.
But so many of these freaking games this weekend, all of a sudden Tyler would run into the chat. They missed the field goal. It's still in play.
Well, yeah, because it looked like we were going to lose the Colts game, and then he misses the field goal, and then we're back.
So, I mean, that we talked about it ever since they changed the rules, particularly on extra points. More extra points have been missed, but over the last couple of years, I feel like even just field goals, extra points, everything has spiked. We have seen such a decline in made field goals.
It's weird.
It's very strange. At least the extra point you can kind of understand, but even moving it back, that's still it should be pretty game steady for most good kickers.
Right.
Not anymore. So
I still just think the funniest stat of all was the fact that I didn't realize until the stat was I saw the stat that the Jaguars have made no field goals this year.
oh my God. I mean,
They're 0 for 5.
That is crazy. That is crazy.
Like you may as well not even send them out if they're gonna just miss that consistently.
Yeah.
Well, hey, they're losing anyway. Just let Trevor Lawrence do his thing.
That's what I'm saying. May as well.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence. We want to see it. There you go, Tyler. Chirping Critics is now subscribed.
Oh yay! Well, I have a lot of content to watch over there. That's not sports related, unfortunately. So
yeah. So, Lamar Jackson pretty much single-handedly put the Ravens on his back to win that damn game, because the rest of that Ravens team was like, "Let's lose it. Let's lose our second game of the season," and he said, "No."
Felt like it. As someone who was there,
that first half was rough for the Ravens.
You're telling me.
It was rough. We had good old ankled
Carson Wentz
out there putting on a clinic almost on these Ravens. I don't know what was going on, but
he wasn't even doing anything like special. He was just like, if we had enough time to get back there, he wasn't running away.
I mean, Lamar Jackson threw. He keeps getting better in the throwing department. 442 yards, 4 touchdowns on top of 62 rushing yards. And
most of that was in the last third of the game, end of the third quarter and the fourth quarter in overtime.
Suddenly, it was like, okay, time to go.
Well, yeah, we were losing.
Man. It was a sight to see, man. Lamar is something else. Like when we were losing
22-3. Yeah,
he's shifty.
I think we were all shocked seeing that in the first place. And then, of course, it's always exciting shock to watch a team just storm back like that to find a way to win it.
It's like I was saying in the group chat while I was at the game when they scored that first time. I was like, here we go again. And lo and behold, it happened again.
Hi, Owen Movie 75. Thanks for stopping in. I have not watched it, but I did know they were putting lots of LGBTQ elements into the show because naturally it got a select few here on the tubes up in their fields and making angry thumbnails about
I can at least say that I watched it. I had a review up for the episode on my channel. I actually quite enjoyed it. There really wasn't like anything explicit, it's just a normal character that's gay. Like it's nothing out of the ordinary. I mean, other than the fact that his dad doesn't like that he's gay, which is something that unfortunately is normal in households. But otherwise, it's not a big plot point, at least in the one episode that we have seen.
Yeah. So Lamar out here, just what was that stat? You're the big Ravens fan. What was that Lamar stat and overall yardage, Tyler, compared to the rest of the league?
Oh, are you talking about the fact that he has more yards himself than like over half the teams in the league?
I mean, that's nuts, y'all. That's nuts.
I think he was like 15th or 14th in the league in total yards. Just him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if y'all are going to make it through the season, not the team, you as the fans. I don't know if you're going to survive to the end of the year. We'll see. But
I'm trying. It's hard. It's never easy, it seems, especially this season. I'm used to the close games in previous seasons, but like usually there's a break. Like I guess thankfully we had a little bit of a break with that Broncos game. Once again, sorry, Larry, but every other game it's been right down to the wire in overtime or down to the wire at the very last play of the fourth quarter. Like it's insane.
Well, do we need to talk about Josh Allen in our MVP talks, or is he not there yet? What do we think?
He's a bad man.
I think he's a top candidate, honestly. I mean, maybe Lamar's right there, but I mean, Josh Allen is balling. Whether he's running people over because he's huge or he's just gunning it down the field, he's tearing people. Like he tore apart the Chiefs, and I think that says a lot. Because maybe a year or two ago, he never makes those plays, and he's just in the zone right now.
Chirpin, I'm gonna put your sad message up now. Sorry, you might want to close your ears, Chirpin, because we're gonna get into this game. And I mean, we called it last week on this show. The Chiefs' defense just isn't there. I mean, Josh Allen just ripped that Chiefs D up.
They just don't have a defense. It's crazy because I feel bad because the Chiefs have such a great offense, but like they can only do so much.
Yeah.
Like they have to put up 30, 40 points a game to stay in it, and like you can only sustain that for so long. Because I like Patrick Mahomes even as a Ravens fan. As long as we're not playing Patrick Mahomes, I have no problem with Patrick Mahomes. But they're so talented on one side of the ball. It's crazy to me that they have such a great offense and then just the defense that does nothing. It's just so preposterous to me. And they keep adding weapons to the offense instead of the defense.
So, Lo, how are you feeling about the Chiefs this season? There's been a lot of alarms going up right now about that.
Definitely.
team.
If I was a Chiefs fan, sorry chirping, but if I was a Chiefs fan, I'd be panicking because I think another thing that we're starting to see is that defenses are starting to figure out their offense. Like they shut down Kelsey, or if Tyreek's hurt, or they just bottle those guys up. You know, Mahomes is amazing, but he can only work with what he's got. And I don't know if Demarcus Robinson and Byron Pringle are the solutions if Kelsey's bottled up, if Tyreek's double teamed, and Edwards-Helaire just got hurt. So
yeah, he's on IR.
I'd be worried. I would be worried if I was a Chiefs fan. They got to figure this out because I mean, if they want to go back to the ship, it's not looking that way right now.
Yeah, I mean, well, with the way the Chargers are playing right now, getting past them to win the division is going to be a feat.
Yeah,
and
that's
they already
rough, Larry.
beat them, so the Chargers are one step on their way. So
poor Larry, your team's in that division, Larry.
Yeah, I mean, we're ahead of the Chiefs still. So
yeah,
right now,
for now,
we're ahead of them in the division.
I know it's crazy to think they're last place right now. Like you never would have guessed that going into the season.
Already got that loss. So I mean, I don't know. So Patrick Mahomes threw for 272 yards, 2 touchdowns, but also 2 interceptions and a fumble from Mahomes on Sunday. So
some of his turnovers really haven't been his fault, where he'll just throw it and it'll hit somebody in the hands and then it'll get intercepted. So I mean, I think at least 2 or 3 of his turnovers were because of stuff like that this year.
Yeah, I mean, it just the Bills do have a good defense, the Buffalo Bills, I think. And when you couple at least a solid, I think maybe they don't have one of the best because the teams they've shut out, let's be real, aren't great offensive teams, but they do have 2 shutouts already this season.
Right.
They did effectively shut down the Chiefs offense, kept them to 20 points. And when you couple that kind of defense with an offense who's putting up 35 to 40 points every single week, I mean, it's gonna be tough to beat those Bills.
Yeah,
right
so far,
now.
yeah.
I mean, we're talking about
Steelers did somehow, but
somehow, some way, the Steelers they caught him off guard. They caught Josh Allen sleeping week 1. I
still can't believe it. Looking at the Steelers play these last couple of weeks.
Lord.
You know, if anything, they woke up a sleeping giant because I think that game motivated Josh Allen. If I'm being honest.
Yeah, probably.
Well, then we have Brady, who continues to have the most passing yards of any QB in the league this year.
Give me a break. He has
he's from Krypton, guys.
He literally has he has a great offensive line and he has like weapons out the wazoo. Of course, he's gonna throw 5 touchdowns.
No, but I mean, for a 44-year-old, he's still got to do it, right? So the fact that he's doing it, I think that says a lot.
I mean, he's not really been hit all that often. He's always had a great line, so he's pretty healthy all around. It's not like Ben Roethlisberger, who's like basically crippled walking out there every week because he's been getting killed for 15 years.
or even Gronk getting up there and he's
he's injured again, so
limping around everywhere he goes. But yeah, so I mean, the Bucs win again. Tom Brady puts on a clinic with 5 touchdowns and 411 yards. Right now, he has almost 2,000 yards. He's closing in on 2,000 yards on the season at 1,767, and has 15 touchdowns to only 2 interceptions this year. So, I guess go GOAT, huh?
Mm-mm.
Tyler said, I will never.
No, I'm not. I've never been a big Brady fan. As a Ravens fan, you kind of just don't like him. Like a lot of teams don't like him.
Well, here we are now with my Broncos. This game actually hurt a lot more than the Ravens game, even though we went into that one undefeated. And, it was a little bit of a personal rivalry with Tyler.
I told you since day one that they were going to win.
So this one, though, it hurt more because we should have been in this game the way that the game was going. I mean, we had 2 blatant dropped interceptions, like right in our
Couple of 'em,
defenders'
yeah.
chest, in their hands, and they dropped them. Plus, we had that tip, and I'll give this guy a pass. He was like, oh, no, like trying to come down with it. I'll give him a pass. And then we have those stupid calls, like that pass interference call. I don't too much agree with that pass interference call that led to that Steelers touchdown. But then our players are like leaping over on the field goal that led to another touchdown. It was just
Right,
a
yeah.
lot of
I think that was the
really
one that
stupid
kind of like sealed the deal there. That was huge.
Yeah, it it was a lot of really dumb things, a lot of fixable things that Teddy Bridgewater did have a great fourth quarter. He came alive. He decided to start playing in the fourth quarter.
Fighting, though. He was trying his ass.
We've been talking about it. The Broncos' offensive line is not good. They continue to just not be able to hold anybody back. So Bridgewater is running for his life half of the plays. Our defensive line wasn't really that effective, which was shocking. This is what I was telling Tyler in the chat. I didn't understand. We were so effective against the run against the Ravens, who have been much better running the football. And then we let the Steelers just come through us. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, we should not be allowing the Steelers to run on us like this. We should have had more sacks on
you guys ended Juju's season, though.
Yeah, well.
So you did hurt them a little bit for the long haul.
That's why it was just a frustrating game. I can handle just losing and like being outplayed, but when you have so many things that you're like, if we wouldn't have done this, if we weren't dumb here, and it ends up being a touchdown and a 2-pointer or something.
Hey, Larry, not to like kind of bring it this way, but you're preaching to the choir, man. That's how I felt with the Packers game, man. And even this week, we had Kyler bottled up and we just couldn't score. And
how do you feel about Trey Lance? Low.
I like the kid. I didn't care for our game plan this week. I didn't care for the play calling. I think Kyle had some training wheels on him. Maybe he doesn't trust him. Maybe Trey's not ready. But our play calling was uninspired and we couldn't score. It was obvious. And I mean, we're missing Kittle, but at the same time, I expected more from this team. And if I'm being honest, we're in shambles right now. The season's this close to getting lost for us, and it sucks because our defense is playing their hearts out. So
yeah, Trey Lance. I mean, I guess the sample size is very small for Trey Lance because he barely actually played in college, so he is very raw. But that's like the kind of thing that you want in a quarterback. Maybe he could be molded into something really substantial. I mean, I like Jimmy G, but he's made of glass, so you kind of have to have someone else in the waiting in the wings. Otherwise, you're just going to lose. So I understand why they drafted him and got him so high.
I'm a secret Jimmy G fan, and he was always hurt. I'm like, come on.
Hey, Tyler, let's be honest, though. Jimmy G does not put fear into any defense.
No.
And I think
absolutely.
When you put Trey in the field, then we got to make him think a little bit. And I think
he has that mobility
a little bit, and maybe it's on him, too, to learn it. But
what gave you the idea about the Broncos chirping critics? Don't matter if they win or lose. I'll be rocking this Broncos on Wednesdays until the season's over. Then I'll switch over to Avs or Nuggets or somebody.
There you go.
Trey Lance has the tools though, so fingers crossed he can just get it together.
The thing that's rough with him is he's injured now too. I mean, you have the bye week, thankfully, so you don't have to play right away. But he's also nursing an injury, so I mean, I don't know who your third string quarterback could potentially be.
Well, supposedly Jimmy will be back, but we'll see how long he stays in the field.
Shanahan was alluding to Jimmy coming along nicely right now.
He was actually close to playing. Like he was getting warmed up, and then they just ultimately shut it down. So
the 49ers do have a history of playing the hot hand. So if Trey Lance decides to go out there and ball out, I feel like Kyle Shanahan will probably just keep Trey Lance in there instead of Jimmy G.
Yeah, I have to agree, though. This season is starting to slip from the 49ers, particularly in your division. This is one of the best divisions in the NFL. Arizona, the only undefeated team left still. They're holding that title down. The Rams are still good. So the Rams are still good. The Seahawks are hanging on for dear life.
Well, their season's over. I'm sorry.
Hey, I agree.
Russell, I don't want to be.
He's going to be out for a while. So.
Well, I mean, by the time he comes back, will it even matter?
Yeah. So chirping, our main co-host obviously is me and Tyler, and then we usually have Leo here, Leo Rydell, who is kind of the third co-host, but he has a little bit of a busy weekday schedule. So we are cycling through random guests, specifically when Leo's not here, but we may even have like a fourth co-host person.
Yeah, I've been busy too, but thankfully with the timing, it worked out for me today.
Whew. So then we have to talk about it because we ragged him so hard last week.
Oh God! I especially did.
We have to get his props this week.
I was shocked watching that game on Sunday. Absolutely shocked.
Davis Mills, out of the clear blue sky, came to play some NFL football this weekend. 312 yards, 3 touchdowns to 0 interceptions. He came this close to leading his team to beating those Patriots.
On Bill Belichick, of all people. Who's notoriously well known for being good against rookie quarterbacks.
Belichick would have passed out if he lost that game.
I was about to too.
I was shook. I was shook. I mean, we've been calling him Littlefoot, Long Neck, all these type of things, and he said, "All right, bet on it." Like I'm
literally roasted the hell out of him last time, and he goes out and throws 3 touchdowns and almost beats the Patriots.
I think Tyler straight up was like, he's the worst quarterback in the entire NFL, and I don't know what he's doing.
At that point in time, he was. Him and I think as far as the quarterbacks that are starting right now that are the worst, I think it's probably a tie between him and Zach Wilson.
And so, I mean, I was just shook. I had to bring him up. You know, we got to get props when we roast, and they come through with something.
I'm just shocked. I mean, I don't think he'll keep that pace consistently. But
he ain't doing it again.
No,
that's what I'm saying. I don't know if he'll do that again, but at least this past week it was crazy to see him.
Maybe once every 4 weeks he can put up a couple touchdowns.
he was out there looking like Patrick Mahomes, rolling out, throwing deep balls to wide open receivers. Like the Patriots defense made him look like an MVP candidate.
I don't know what's going on with that Patriots defense too, and he's got that long neck. He should be able to see over all the field, the whole
That's
defense.
His special ability.
You know, he should be able to see all the way 70 yards down. I don't know, Davis.
I don't know how tall Davis Mills is. I imagine a good couple inches of it is just his neck, but
a whole foot is just the neck. Let
me check the stat real quick.
Little foot though, damn.
That's Larry's name for him.
That's what I call him, Littlefoot. But yeah, so
he's 6'4".
There you go. At least that 4 inches is from the neck only. Take out the neck, and he's 6 foot flat. I'm telling you, it's too much.
Poor Davis Mills.
Yeah, so before we get into our picks for next week, I actually didn't really realize the 49ers aren't even playing. We have Lowe on here when his team isn't even playing.
Yeah, the 49ers, of course, the 2 London teams, the Falcons and Jets aren't playing. And the Saints. I don't have to pick the Saints this week. Thank the Lord.
The gift to our picks.
Every week, almost.
Do you guys play sports at all? I feel like Tyler does, and the guy on the bottom screen used to. Lowe, were you an athlete?
Used to. I'm an avid basketball player, and I did play football in high school, so that's where my love for the sport comes from.
What position?
I was a running back.
Running back. All right.
Oh, man.
Tyler, you ever been out on the field?
I was always like the Josh Gordon of my teams, where I was always suspended for discipline. But I was on a baseball team. I mean, I play a lot of sports outside of competitive stuff. I thought it's kind of cool. It's not really a flex, but it was kind of cool that our high school team I went to, I was supposed to play for. When I was there, the other school, Old Mill, is actually where Josh Hader was pitching, the closer for the Brewers.
Wow.
So I watched 1 or 2 games of him pitching when I was in high school. But he was a beast then. As you can tell, he is still a beast. He's the closer. I mean, he wasn't good yesterday because they lost because of him. But other than that, he's been a beast.
I used to run track and field. Used to run the half mile and the mile. And then I play tennis. I'm not all that great, but that's about the only sport I play is tennis.
Yeah, as far as like sports, like I'll still play football a lot and baseball. Those are like the two main ones. Like I never really liked basketball, but I was tall, so I always had to play center and guard somebody. Soccer, I didn't like running that much because that's like the
Tyler
soccer fields.
About that running life. He's the soccer, the basketball. He's like, no, this is
soccer is just soccer fields, like real soccer fields, like
huge.
They're huge. Like you're running across them. Like I'll play defense. I don't got to run all the way across the field.
I'm Latino, so obviously growing up, I had to play soccer. Like my family.
I am part Hispanic as well.
They
so
just enrolled me in soccer. That was the sport.
It's
like,
true.
You're gonna be little. You ain't gonna be out on that damn football field or basketball for sure. You get out on the soccer field. That's the sport of our people.
I've always been big, so I've always been asked to play sports.
Lord, well, what's the? Let's see. Let me go ahead and. I don't know. Does it not display him if I do this? There you go. There's his screen name. I'll take it down for a while. Trevor Critics was asking about Lowe, and you can find him for sure on the Suit Up Geeks podcast. Anywhere else, Lowe?
Well, that's my Twitter handle. I'm always down to talk movies and talk whatever nerd stuff, sports stuff. And yeah, the Suit Up Geeks. Follow us on Twitter at the Suit Up Geeks.
I pop over there from time to time on their movie drafts, so you can find me.
I was supposed to, but
life traumas happen.
Life gets in the way sometimes. It is what it is.
All right, so looking ahead to week 6 of the NFL, starting tomorrow night, we have Tampa Bay at the Philadelphia Eagles. Lo, who do you got in this one? Oh, I have to give a shout out though, real quick. Lo had some wild picks last week, y'all. I mean, he was like picking crazy stuff.
I don't remember what his picks were.
I got some of them right though.
I did see them, but I don't remember what they are now.
I was just like shook. Yeah. So who do you got on Tampa Bay at Philly?
So I think this will be a lot closer than people imagine. I think Jalen Hurts is going to keep the Eagles in it, but God, the Bucs are too good right now. I don't see the Eagles topping Tom Brady. They had a hard time with Jimmy G. We gave them a run for their money. So I think the Bucs take this one.
All right, Tyler.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I think the Bucs are still the better team all around. There's also the fact that Philadelphia is also not going to have Dallas Goedert because he's, I believe he's on the COVID list, if I remember correctly. So he's not going to be playing tomorrow. So
knuckleheads.
So he's going to. That's definitely going to hurt the Philadelphia offense not having him out there. I mean, I guess they do have Ertz still, but Dallas Goedert I think is the better one of the two, at least currently. But Tom Brady, man, I hate the guy, but he has a good team around him and he knows how to win. I think that they'll pull it off, even though apparently he's nursing like a thumb injury right now. But like he's Tom Brady, he's fine.
Yeah.
No Gronk either.
Oh, yeah, that's true. But I have to go Tampa Bay too. I still think they're a more complete team. And I don't know. Philly, they showed something this past week, obviously. But I just don't think they're there yet all the way around. So I'm going to stick with the safe bet on this one and stay with the Buccaneers. All right, now we have one. Maybe could be interesting. We have the Miami Dolphins at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Tyler?
I mean, it's tough because Tua Tagovailoa is supposed to start again. Like, he's supposed to be back, finally. And I think that could give them a much better edge in this week if Tua does play. But the Jaguars have been really close sometimes, though. So it's one of those things where it could finally they could finally get over the hump and get another, win in general, I guess. I think if Tua plays, I think that the Dolphins will win.
All right. And Lo?
So I think flying to London, it's a very young Jacksonville team, especially rookie quarterback.
I forgot that it was in London, actually.
Yeah, lots of first and second year receivers, and even their running back to second year back. And I think it's going to be tough for them to go overseas and win this game. I think Miami has a better defense. If Tua plays, they should be more efficient, and they should have Devontae Parker back. So they got some firepower on their side. I think the Dolphins They might run away with this one, and London can enjoy the blowout. So
I feel bad for London though, man. We gave them 2 crappy weeks of football games. We got the Jets and the Jets and Falcons, and now the Jags and the Dolphins. Like, could give them a better team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel that's how I always feel. I'm like, we talked about this a little bit last week too. Like, they're always out here talk about like, oh, we want to get more international fans, and then they schedule like the worst possible games. It's like you're driving people away. They're running for the hills watching this.
I hold a grudge against London games now for the rest of my life after they sent the Ravens out there and the Jaguars beat the crap out of us. So
I don't even remember that. Did that really happen?
Yeah, it did a couple of years ago. They beat us. It was like 44-7, something like that.
The only time I remember the Broncos playing in London was when we had frickin' Josh McDaniels as our head coach. And
man.
I think we were on like a 6-game winning streak, and I'm pretty sure London was the game that it all came crashing down.
Yeah, you guys had that long winning streak and then tanked out by the end of the season. And then
didn't win like anything the rest of the season. He was caught cheating, and I was like, oh, well, there's the Belichick influence, I guess. Like, he was caught filming the practice before the London game. I mean, it was a mess. So
always.
That flight overseas does affect players, man. The London games are weird.
So who knows? I mean, Jacksonville maybe. No, I'm going with the more experienced again. That's what I went with last week. I just think experience maybe helps you out a little bit more. Sorry, you're gonna have to endure another loss, homie. It's not
Urban Meyer, man. You know, the spotlight's not on you right now, but
Urban, you're gonna be away from all your side pieces, Urban.
Now he's gonna find some lovely British women.
Don't go be looking in the taverns in London.
Watch out,
pubs, Urban.
Watch the pubs.
Urban, your fish and chips. Don't be eating nothing else.
We don't want to see you leaving that hotel, sir. Practice and back. All right. Well, another interesting game, a division rivalry on this one. We have the Green Bay Packers at the Chicago Bears. So Chicago looking a little bit more stout the last couple weeks, at least a little bit more stabilized out, I would say. But even with their kicking woes, I don't think Crosby is going to miss all of those field goals again 2 weeks in a row. So I have to pick Green Bay. Tyler?
Yeah, I think Green Bay is just overall the much better team. I mean, when you have Aaron Rodgers on your team, you're really never out of it as far as I'm concerned, because he can somehow still pull out a win with like 20 seconds on the clock, like multiple times as we've even seen this year. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know your firsthand account of it, of the 49ers, as you can tell. He's a bad man. I'm sorry. Like, I love Aaron Rodgers, even though I'm not a Packers fan per se, but he's a great quarterback. Justin Fields, he's still young. I love Justin Fields as well, but I don't think he's going to have the ability to keep them in this game, especially against Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers for a reason. So I have to go with Green Bay. I think even though they're in Soldier Field, Chicago, I think the Packers will pull it through.
Low.
Yeah, there's no question here. I don't see how the Bears pull this off. I mean, to be fair, they took advantage of a Raiders team that was really distracted, and I'm sure the locker room was in a disarray going to that game. They didn't look right. So the Bears got a free one. And also, they just lost their starting running back. I don't see how they beat the Packers here, even at home.
All right. Well, then we have Cincinnati at Detroit. Can Detroit get their first win of the season, though?
They're going to try, and then they're going to give it away in the fourth quarter.
The usual for them.
But seriously, Lions going to Lion. Like, how the heck are they going to literally win the whole game and just give it away in the last 5 minutes?
Well, this week it was legit the last minute that the Vikings stormed back down the field and won the game. I mean, it was the last minute of the game.
That and the Ravens game this year.
The Ravens too. I know Tyler remembers. Well, the Lions were beating the Ravens. That game was almost over. I don't know how the hell they lost.
Lamar Jackson, field
goal. A miracle field goal.
Lamar Jackson and Justin Tucker,
right? That was amazing.
66.
Yeah, that was the.
But with that being said,
amazing.
I think this is. I'm gonna call it right now. This might be another overtime game, but I will say the Lions are gonna get their hearts broken again. I'm so sorry, Detroit. Joe Burrow is playing out of his mind. Jamar Chase is really electric. And their defense is underrated. They were giving Rodgers problems. Their D-line is pretty good. I think Jared Goff's gonna have a rough day at the office. So I'll pick the Bengals here.
You're predicting another overtime where both the kickers are just gonna miss a bunch of field goals. So that's what we're going for. Predicting it's gonna go down to the wire. We're gonna have a bunch of misses.
Yeah, I think the Lions will play hard, but they're gonna lose it in the last couple minutes.
I definitely think the Bengals are the better team here. I mean, the Lions have definitely shown they're not a complete team. They don't know how to play all 4 quarters and win. They always find a way to lose in horrible fashion. So I think the Bengals are going to pull this out and they're going to get another win. Hopefully they don't have to go off of field goals though, because if it goes down to a field goal, I will be nervous.
Lions will pull it out.
With whoever the kicker is, whatever his name is, the new guy for the Bengals, because he's not great. As you
better make sure it goes in before he starts jumping up and down.
God, I think from now on he probably will.
Yeah. I also pick the Cincinnati Bengals until the Lions can show me they can tough it out and actually win. I can't. I'm sorry, Detroit. I've picked you before and you've let me down. And I'm not gonna risk it. Patrick Burrow says, I don't know or understand football at all. I just wanted to jump in and join in to say hi and show my love and support all 3 of you. Oh, thank you, Patrick.
Thank you, Patrick.
Maybe the NFL needs to start sending some people down to Australia next.
Can you imagine the jet lag from that?
They have to play on like a Wednesday in the middle of the week to like work around the clock.
Well, they would just have to fly there like a week early to accommodate.
A bye
acclimated
the week before and a bye. You get 2 buys with the 17-week schedule.
I might be in another dimension, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like London's already bad enough. I mean, Australia.
Australians, they love their rugby. I follow Chris Hemsworth on Instagram, obviously, and he's going ham about that rugby on his Insta. So
those rugby players are tough. I have seen some rugby. They don't have any pads.
That's nuts. I would not be playing rugby. So there's.
I never played.
No thanks. I'll rather go to the football field. I'm not about that rough and tough life of rugby.
At least they got pads, right?
All right. Well, can Davis Mills do it this week? Can he hold on to win it all? We have the Houston Texans at the Indianapolis Colts. I'm picking the Colts. I'm sorry, Davis. I am rooting for you to have some success and not be a total burnout with your long goal neck. But yeah, it's gonna have to be the Colts, even with Wentz and ankle. I mean, they're a more complete team. Houston, I don't know, they're a random team. Every now and then they can play all right, but I gotta go Colts. Tyler?
Yeah, I agree with you, Larry. I think that it's an anomaly that Davis Mills played as well as he did last week. I don't know if he can consistently do that. I mean, I feel like that was definitely a fluke. But I don't want to talk too bad about him in case he goes out there and throws like 5 touchdowns and proves me wrong again. But I think the Colts are the better overall team. You know, it's a division matchup. It'll be tough, but I think that the Colts will pull it out by the end, especially since they'll probably be very angry since we pulled out that insane win this past week with the Ravens.
All right, Lo.
Yeah, the Colts have a really good defense. They stole one of my favorite players, DeForest Buckner, and he's a beast up the middle. They're going to live and die with Carson Wentz. As long as Carson Wentz doesn't throw the game away, the Colts should win this, and I think they will.
I don't know. That defense threw that game away when Lamar Jackson was on the field.
Okay, but that's Lamar Jackson, man. I mean, not many defenses can stop him when he's going.
I mean, can Davis pull out a Jackson? We'll see.
I don't know. I don't think he has it in him.
Can he do it again?
That neck is holding him back.
Well, then, an easier pick of the week. We have the LA Rams at the New York Giants.
Come on.
Lo, you are familiar with the Rams, particularly.
Man, I'm not even trying to be mean. They got to call this game. Just take a bye week, man. They just lost Saquon Barkley. They lost Kenny Golladay. Like, they lost Daniel Jones, their starting quarterback. There is no chance in hell they are beating the Rams and Aaron Donald. And no, I'm sorry. Sorry, Giants. You guys aren't doing it this week.
All right, Tyler.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Daniel Jones may come back from his concussion. Like, there are rumblings that he'll probably be able to actually start. But even with Daniel Jones in there, they just don't have the firepower, I think, to compete. I am impressed, though, with Kadarius Toney. Like, now that he's finally getting the ball, he has become, like, a dangerous threat. But I think that the Rams have a great enough secondary to be able to clamp him if they have to. I mean, Jalen Ramsey will probably be on him, especially if Galladay's not going to play. And they don't have Saquon. They don't have a run game. So they're going to have to throw in the ball. And Danny Dimes is known for turning the ball over. It's like his staple. He just loves to turn the ball over. Not as much this year, but as a whole, his career is very much filled with turnovers. Yeah, it has to be the Rams. Like, I would be shocked. This would be one of the biggest upsets probably of the week if the Rams don't pull this out.
I have to say, I guess I grazed over in this comment. I didn't realize Australia also called it soccer. I guess I didn't realize anybody outside of North America
Interesting.
ever called things the same things we do,
Yeah,
including soccer. So that is quite interesting. I did. Thank you for the new information, Patrick. I was not aware.
Oh yeah, I think they call rugby footy, right? I've heard that said before.
So yay for another soccer country. Well, I'm also picking the Rams. I mean, this is a no-brainer. I mean, come on. All right. Kansas City will be facing off against the Washington football team. So can Mahomes and KC bounce back? Low?
You know what's funny? I'm like seriously looking for an upset because I don't want to keep picking the obvious picks here, but I'm going to be honest. I don't see how Washington wins this game. Their defense is not as strong as we all believed they were going to be. Taylor Heineke he's either going to, throw for 4 touchdowns and run in one, or he's going to throw 3 interceptions. And I'm going to say that they'll keep it close, but I don't see them beating the Chiefs. I just can't do it.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Chiefs on this one. Washington has been up and down when I pick them or when they're in the picks. They're like the Saints, not quite as unpredictable, but they like to keep me like on the edge every week. But I do think the Chiefs will bounce back after last week to at least handle a team they should handle at this point. So, Tyler?
Yeah, I agree. I think the Chiefs will be able to bounce back. I think they do have enough firepower. I don't think the Washington football team, not the team that we can't call them anymore. I think that they don't have a good enough offense to sustain enough points to keep up with Patrick Mahomes. I think Patrick Mahomes, he can put up a bunch of points if he needs to. I don't think the Washington football team's offense is going to be able to do that if they need to. So I think Patrick Mahomes will bounce back and they'll get a win this week.
Well, Patrick, have you also ever watched basketball? If you enjoy flopping at a severe degree such as that, tune into some NBA games.
Yeah, there was some flopping in the Ravens game this week. It's how we almost lost.
I mean, you don't see it as much in football, but every single NBA game that takes place, I don't dislike LeBron James, but I need to just call a spade. LeBron is known for flopping quite a bit. So I'm just going to leave.
He has a highlight reel dedicated to flops.
That's when you know it's bad.
He is a flopper. I'm just sorry, Bron. It just is what it is. It's okay. Oh God, here I go. Okay. Next up we have
what's he gonna do, Larry?
We have the Minnesota Vikings at the Carolina Panthers. Tyler, I'll kick it over to you first.
It's kind of like in this, like I say it every week. The Vikings, I don't have anything against the Vikings. I just don't think they're going to be able to pull this out. Going with the history, I always say statistics. Kirk Cousins is not good with winning record teams. The Panthers have a winning record. I think they're also going to have Christian McCaffrey back, which is going to really help them kind of spark their offense. I think it will be a close game, though. I definitely think it won't be a blowout by any means. But I think that the Panthers will eventually get the win.
Okay. Low.
Do you happen to know where that's being played? Is it in Minnesota or Carolina?
In Carolina.
I was actually going to pick the Vikings, but with Christian McCaffrey back, if he plays, I think that'll be a difference maker. And honestly, the Panthers pass rush is pretty lethal. Cousins is going to have a hard time. God, I feel like we've agreed on everything, but yeah, I don't see the Vikings win this game in Carolina.
God, that McCaffrey part is what is reeling me back, because after last week with that loss to Philadelphia, I was real shook in shit. I said I was going to stop picking the damn Vikings, But Carolina has not looked the same without McCaffrey in. But if he's back, oh, I know.
So you're gonna regret it if he's out there and he's running for like 100-something yards.
Which I know he will. I know he will. Damn it. You know what? To break it up, I have to do it. I'm gonna pick the Vikings.
All right, cool.
Is that the first one? The first one that we didn't agree on?
Yeah.
Leo's had a couple of disagreements along the way.
Leo picked the Jags and Detroit, so he's going out on a couple limbs.
He's hopeful that Detroit gets to this first win. He was very adamant about it when he gave us his picks.
Okay, then we have the LA Chargers at the Baltimore Ravens. Lo, we'll kick it off with you on this one.
Oh wait, did you say me?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Man, this is gonna be so fun to watch. I think this game is gonna be like 50-50, 51-50. It's gonna be insane. I'm gonna be honest. I think the Chargers are red hot. Joey Bosa and
the Ravens aren't
beasts on the defensive side. And I'm gonna be honest, man. Justin Herbert. You guys ever seen Remember the Titans?
Yes. Justin
Herbert is sunshine, and he is playing like sunshine. Austin Eckler, Mike Williams, they got it going on. Like next to the Bills, the Chargers are red hot. Like they're like right up there with the Bills, and I'm gonna.
And the Ravens aren't. The Ravens are 4-1.
Hey, the Chargers on a roll, man. They just beat the Chiefs, and they're.
We beat the Chiefs too.
Okay, they beat the Raiders too. We'll use the Raiders benchmark, I guess.
There you go.
Barely. We barely lost to the Raiders.
So Tyler, I guess we'll go to you next. Because I predict I know where you're going.
I definitely think it'll be a close game, as you could tell by every game this year. Based on that, I'm not looking forward to that because it's just every week. Lamar Jackson, man. You can't count out the Ravens with Lamar Jackson. As you can tell, we're able to pull out a win in miraculous fashion sometimes.
And the Chargers have missed a couple of field goals this season.
Right. I think that we do. I think the fact that the Chargers don't have a great rushing defense is going to really hurt them in this, because I think they're one of the worst rushing defenses and we're one of the best rushing offenses. So there's the potential there that we could just run all over them, and we may not need to pass the ball as much. Thankfully, our receivers are getting healthy, so I think that may help us out if we do have to pass the ball a bit more. Yeah, Marquise Brown is finally catching the ball a bit more consistently, and Mark Andrews has been a beast, as always, as a tight end. Of course, I have to go with the Ravens. They're my team. They've given me a lot of crazy wins this year. They're also red hot, despite what some may say. They just, I hope the Ravens pull it off, but I'm not going to be shocked if the Chargers pull it off too, because they are a really good team.
All right, Patrick, are you talking about the Toon Squad of 2021 or the 90s Toon Squad? That's the real question after your comment.
I think weren't they called the Goon Squad in the sequel?
No, that was the bad team.
No, that's the bad
ones.
The Toons are the good guys. They're the bows.
No, I don't really even. Oh, that's right. I was gonna say I didn't know if we were talking the good guys or the bad guys.
No. I'm sorry, Tyler. I have to go the Chargers too. They helped me in another, close one with the Raiders. We were up and down. Everybody didn't know where we were gonna go.
I gotta go. You upset me. For everything we've been through.
Larry, Patrick's comment has me weak.
Now Tyler's really out of here. He's like, I gotta get out of here. Patrick is commenting on me. But I'm sorry, Tyler. I just have to go to the Chargers. Number one in the AFC. They're another one. I just gotta ride it out until they play the Broncos.
Number one in the AFC. Come on, we're the same record.
Well, it just is what it is. I'm sorry.
Well, I hope they beat the crap out of the Broncos then.
Well, we'll see. They probably will. Let's just be honest. But I don't know that I will pick them that week, but I am picking them this week.
I hope you do.
All right. Well, now we have a close one. Now we have another toss in the air. How do you feel about Patrick's comment there, Tyler?
With the Russian one?
Yes.
I don't know. They aren't. I obviously did say rushing, but rushing. But I mean, if it's Russian, that's cool too.
I was just gonna say I don't remember you saying anything about any Russians, but I think that's what happened there.
It happens, I guess.
Hey,
Look at us. I mean,
Patrick, why you lying in our comment section then, Patrick? You said Toon Squad was your fave. What's going on?
Right. Oh, well.
Well, we have a tough game. We have the Arizona Cardinals at the Cleveland Browns. Lo, we're going to pass it over to you. You can comment on your fellow NFC West team. Is this the week they finally go down, or are they holding on to that final undefeated record?
I will say, and not because I'm a Niners fan, but I really think the Browns have a pretty good team. I know they got, the Chargers put up 1,000,000 points on them, but I think Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt will do just as much damage against the Cardinals that they inflicted on the Chargers. Kyler is great, but he can be bottled up. I don't think Chase Edmonds is as good as Austin Eckler from last week's game. So I think that the Browns should be able to pull this off at home. I think the Cardinals, this is where they're going to get their first loss. I think they've been, they're undefeated and all that, and they're fighting hard. But I think they're going to be their bump in the road, going across country to try to play Cleveland at home.
Tyler?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, Baker Mayfield hasn't been playing great this year. He's kind of been helped out a lot by the run game and the defense itself. The Cardinals have been playing lights out, of course. I don't know. I mean, both their quarterbacks are injured. Kyler Murray's playing with a messed up shoulder, and I guess same as Baker Mayfield. His is just, and Baker Mayfield has like a separated shoulder and popped it back in. Now he's just playing with it, like whatever. I mean, it's not his throwing shoulder at least, but I don't know. I think that it has potential to be the game of the week. Chandler Jones isn't going to be able to play because he has COVID. I said that earlier with Dallas Goedert in Philadelphia. I think that the Cardinals I think the Cardinals will pull this one out. Like I once again, I wouldn't be shocked if the Browns win this, but I think that the Cardinals will pull it off. I think they have enough firepower to pull it off, even without Chandler Jones on the defense.
What can I say? I never learned my lessons, obviously. With the Minnesota Vikings earlier today and the Cleveland Browns, I'm going to go with the Cardinals. I know I say it. The Browns burn me almost every time.
Well, now I'm nervous.
But they both helped me out last week. Minnesota and the Browns, both did what I needed them to do.
Well, for one. I picked them last week and they won. That's why they actually won for me.
The Arizona, I don't know. You're right. I mean, that defense, what happened to the Browns defense last week, though? I mean, yes, the Chargers have a very strong offense, but man, that was just shootout. That was like, let's see who can make it to 100 first.
Well, that's like I said, the Chargers don't have a very good rushing defense. Yeah. So they were like, so Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt were just running all over them.
And to be fair, the Browns do still have Myles Garrett. My Niners were able to get the Kyler a couple times. We were getting in his face, and Myles Garrett's a beast, man. The pass rush is still there for the Browns, so I think that'll be the difference maker.
Right.
Yeah, it's possible.
Well, then we have the Las Vegas Raiders at the Denver Broncos. Well, much like last week, I did say if I think the Broncos are actually going to lose and it's a clear deal, I'll pick against them, but I don't think it's very clear when it comes to the Las Vegas Raiders, particularly after last week, particularly with the circus that is circling their team this week, and I'm sure will continue to be a hot topic all the way up to game time. Yeah. We're in Denver. I have to pick the Broncos this week. What are we doing here? Maybe later in the season, we'll see if the Raiders bounce back or if they continue this downward spiral. But I'm going Denver. Tyler?
Well, I do want to pick the Raiders just out of spite for earlier. But I do think that they're going to continue to spiral. I think that the Raiders have kind of just not been the good team anymore. Like they started out the season hot. They had some close games that they pulled through. But the Broncos, they've been playing well. They've at least been in like every game other than the Ravens game. But I don't know. Teddy Bridgewater, I don't really. The Raiders have kind of a decent pass rush. So, Teddy Bridgewater could be in danger there. But Yeah, I mean, especially that it's in Mile High, I think that could definitely influence some things. And the fact that they're going to have a whole new regime calling the plays and all that stuff, I think that could really hurt the Raiders as well going into this week, especially with all the media circus. So I guess I have to go with the Broncos, even though I kind of hope that they lose.
Begrudgingly.
I hope they lose. I hope I'm wrong for your sake.
Well, if we win this week, then I actually will be hoping in my heart that you beat the Chargers because it brings us closer to them again.
That's true.
So, if we'll see. But
I don't know. I was upset that you guys couldn't beat the Steelers.
Oh my God.
So.
Well, me too. So we're all on the same page there. Lo, who do you got on this one?
So yeah, earlier Tyler hit it on the head. I feel bad for this team. I think the Raiders are talented and they have potential to be better than they're showing, but they're going to be in disarray. New play caller, all the drama. They're probably all upset about everything that's happening. I don't think they're focused on football right now. Broncos are taking this, and I feel bad for the Raiders organization.
Poor Leo. He had to pick against his fave, Derek Carr. He's been hyping up Derek Carr all season, and now now he's got to pick against him.
At least team. Tyler, at least in your begrudging having to pick the Broncos, at least you get to pick against Derek Carr. Like at least there's a silver lining for you.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Derek Carr won't be able to play all that great because he's going to have a heavy heart. So maybe that'll help with the Broncos this week.
All right. Well, then we got the Dallas Cowboys at the New England Patriots. Tyler, do you think the Patriots can pull an upset, or is this one a done deal?
I don't think they will this week. I do think the Patriots are talented. I just think the Cowboys are just great all around this year. Like, as you always hear about them every year, like we the boys, Cowboys Super Bowl bound, all that annoying stuff. And then they're usually not very good. They win the division going 8-8 and stuff like that. Their division's usually awful. So the fact that they're playing so well, Dak Prescott's also had a big role in that. He's just really stepped it up after that injury last season. So, I mean, I think with the running game as well has been really great lately, too. Zeke's come alive. They have Tony Pollard. I just think they have too much firepower. I mean, you got to think, if the Texans could do what they did to that Patriots defense last week, I don't even know who's playing for the Texans these days on offense. I know Brandon Cooks is out there. Chris Moore, who used to be on the Ravens, who wasn't very good, he was out there catching touchdowns. I mean, if the Cowboys have a lot of weapons on offense between Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, Dalton Schultz, like they're full of weapons. I think the Cowboys will pull it out.
All right, Lo.
Yeah, it's weird to say this because I feel like New England used to be a tough place to play, and Belichick's going to go down in like the Hall of Fame history for coaching, but they, like Tyler said it already, they don't have enough firepower. Mac Jones is still learning the game, and he doesn't have enough weapons. He just lost his starting back. I think Ramondre Stevenson's starting, I think. And, I think the Cowboys take it pretty easily in New England, which is really weird to say.
All right. I'm also picking the Cowboys. I think it'll be a blowout, to be honest. I think the Cowboys are going to run all over them. But thank you, Patrick, for stopping in. We appreciate it, even though you had no idea about what we were talking about.
I think that's funny.
It's the rest of our evening over here in the States, but thank you for the sentiment.
Right, yeah.
The day is over.
Yeah, it's not day here, especially for me.
All right, well, now we have a potentially interesting one, maybe. Especially with the commentary that happened at the beginning of this thing. We have Seattle Seahawks at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Tyler?
I mean, I don't want them to win. But I do think the Steelers will pull this out because they have, even without Juju, they still have Claypool, Deontay Johnson, Najee Harris. Like, they have the ability to win this if they have to. The Seahawks, like, that whole team ran through Russell Wilson. Like, whether they like to admit it or not, like, Russell Wilson was the main crux for them doing well for many years. And I don't think Geno Smith's going to be able to do it. I just don't. I never thought Geno Smith was a very good quarterback when he was a starter over in New York. And I don't think he had spottiness of being kind of good when he took over for Russell Wilson in that Rams game. Other than that first drive, though, it was all downhill from him. So I don't think with a week's preparation with him going in there playing the Steelers, I think that it'll be tough. But yeah, I think the Steelers will pull it off, unfortunately.
All right, Lo.
TJ Watt is going to be coming for Gino's soul, and Gino's going to be up at night thinking about it, man. Oh, God. Yeah, I think it's going to be a bloodbath, guys. I don't see how they keep it up. I mean, DK Metcalf's great. Tyler Lockett's great, but I don't see how Gino pulls this off. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to just run through him. So.
He's going to be running for his life.
Yeah, especially, I mean, it's at Heinz. The Steelers, of course, we know they have a very passionate fan base that gets moving there in Pittsburgh.
Those damn towels.
And I think that's damn towels.
I hate
them. Yeah, I just playing in this hostile territory with a week's preparation. Okay, calm down there.
Give me PTSD.
I gotta go with the Steelers as well. Maybe if it was in Seattle, maybe they could get something going there, but it just I don't see it. Even with Ben hobbling around the field, I just don't think even the Seahawks are going to get to him all that much. So,
hey Larry, one of my best friends said that Ben Roethlisberger needs a life alert because every time he falls down, it's like a catastrophe.
Like
it takes
everybody's
him a while
like
to fall
holding
down,
their breath. They think he may never get up. Like every single time he falls, he's the grandma in those commercials, like tumbling down the stairs. Like Ben. So I
don't know how he does it, frankly. As someone who's a Ravens fan that's had to witness him, like, just be that way for forever. Like, I don't know how. Like, I know he hurts when he wakes up every day.
Like, when he is you can't even say elderly. When he's, like, 50 years old, Ben is going to be, like, wheelchair bound. He's going to be not able to walk. Like, I know those joints are going to be screaming every single day he wakes up as he ages. It's going to be a journey. But, I mean, I guess when you get away with sexual assault, then maybe you deserve some pain in your latter years of life. I'll say that.
I guess that's one way of putting his karma,
right? Yes, I'm going to go with the Steelers as well.
The beginning of the end for the Seahawks' season starts this week.
Leo is either going to stun us all or get blown out this week. He has several contrary opinions.
If I'm being honest, I think he didn't know Russell Wilson's not playing.
Yeah, I mean, that does change a lot. If Russell Wilson is playing, then we can talk when it comes to this game. But all right, then we have a game on Monday night. We have the Buffalo Bills at the Tennessee Titans. Low.
No offense to Derrick Henry, and AJ Brown's a great player, but God, the Bills are just tearing through teams right now, and I don't think the Titans are the team to beat them. I think their defense is okay, but it's not like world beating.
Yeah. And
Josh Allen's red hot, so it's got to be the Bills. There's no way.
Tyler, do you agree?
Yeah, I think that the Bills are just the hot team, especially in the AFC right now. I mean, this could be a potential future matchup in the playoffs later on between the Titans and the Bills. It's just tough because, like, the Bills, like, they're putting up like 40 points a game. Like almost every game, they're putting up at least like 40. I don't think the Titans can do that. I mean, they do have the weapons. I mean, Julio's health has always been questionable, so maybe he'll actually come back this week. But AJ Brown is, of course, also there, and Derrick Henry's got, they have a running game because of Derrick Henry. I think that they'll be able to stop them, though. I think they have a great enough defense to be able to stunt them at least a little bit. And as long as they stunt them a couple times on scoring plays and the Bills put up 30, 40 points like they usually do, I think they'll just pull off another Monday night win.
Yeah, I think we kind of saw a blueprint last week, really, of an offense that can move if they need to. The Bills just got to stop them enough times to keep them from getting to 40. And they're going to
right.
I mean, yes, the Titans put up 37 points last week, but that was against the Jacksonville Jaguars.
It was the Jaguars.
So we haven't seen them be able to do that against other teams this season.
That and the fact they lost to the damn Jets because they didn't have any freaking wide receivers.
Well,
I was just gonna say, like, it shows the Titans have problems. I mean, they lost to the damn Jets, man.
Yeah, I don't see how they keep up. I don't think they can keep up the pace with the Buffalo Bills this week. So I think the Bills get back-to-back primetime wins on their route to dominating the East over there. So that's it. Those are our picks. We mentioned the teams that have off. Thank you to everyone who dropped in, whether to talk about football or sports or just to say hi. We appreciate everybody who's
I am really glad that the Saints aren't playing this week though, because I'm sick of picking them and then they let me down no matter which side of the coin I pick them on. Except for this last game, ironically, we picked them to win and they actually won.
Yeah, I mean, it was touch and go for a while.
It was close. I was nervous for most of it, but they did eventually win the game against Washington.
You think there's a more unpredictable team than the Saints right now, Lo?
No. I mean, they don't have an identity. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know which Jameis Winston you're going to get. You don't know if Kamara's going to have a day or not, and it's hard to tell what's going to happen.
The Ravens. You think you're going to win for 3 quarters, and then they come back and they beat you.
The Saints, they're
that's at least predictable. The Ravens.
It is now.
Right? Yeah, the Saints is not predictable. It's like, well, they just lost to the Giants. Oh, but they beat Green Bay, like blew them out, murdered them. Okay, well,
yeah, stomped Green Bay.
Ridiculous.
We don't know
Shocking.
What to do. Shocking stuff. Well, thank you both, obviously, for being here with me as well. Tyler, do you want to let everyone know where they can find your channel?
Yeah, of course. Also, I want to add in, I hope that kickers are much better this week because I was quite nervous for them. A lot of their jobs are on the line, especially this week. So you better kick you better kick and make it this week.
Low key, I hope they're still a hot mess because it provides for entertainment.
That's also true. Oh yeah, I hope that at least some of them miss a lot because that's funny. I mean, half of the almost half of the misses this week were just in that one game between the Bengals and the Packers. Oh. But yeah, you can find me on my channel. You check, search up my name. You'll have my channel where I review, do reviews, reactions, all that jazz. You also find me on this channel a lot as I do this. I do reactions with Larry, whether it be Game of Thrones, Daredevil, potentially other stuff in the future. And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Tyler Calvert, where I talk movies and music and TV and sports, all that stuff. I'm pretty open to everything at this point, except NASCAR. I don't watch NASCAR.
That's okay. Well, thank you so much for coming on and being our guest this week. It was so fun talking with you. Obviously, Chirping Critic certainly enjoyed having you here tonight.
Yeah, you did.
So where can people find you?
It was a pleasure, guys. Thank you guys so much. I actually did my plugs really early, like midway through the show. Yeah. But on Twitter at Marcellus Durden, I'm always down to chat. I'm always happy to just talk shop, movies, shows, Marvel, Star Wars, Casablanca, whatever. I'm always down to chat.
Quite a contrast.
Also, please follow us on the Suit Up Geeks. I'm one of 4 awesome co-hosts. We always talk nerdy stuff. We do reviews. We have a movie draft coming up this Sunday. It'll be spooky themed, horror, spooky Halloween movies. 10 teams picking the best of the best, and then Twitter, you guys get to vote who has the best teams. Larry, you've been a part of it a couple times. Wreck and Shop, you won a couple. You're a champion.
I was about to ask, are you in this one, Larry?
Ryan asked me today. He asked me and Leo. So
I don't want to spoil it in case it has. I don't think they've been revealed yet.
I was gonna say, more power to you if you're in it for this one. But I'm excited. So please check that out. It'll be Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, and yeah. Check it out.
Perfect. And again, if you're not subscribed, go ahead and click that subscribe button down below and hit the like button if you enjoy talking movies or sports here with us on the stream. It definitely lets us know that you're enjoying these live streams talking sports, and leave some comments down below. Let us know your picks. How are you feeling about the whole Gruden situation, as well as, are you team Red Sox? Are you like Tyler saying whoever wins on the other side, win it all, please?
I'm one of those people where if I don't like both teams, sometimes I'll just root for injuries.
And if anybody else out there is watching NASCAR, let me know who you hope wins the chase. All in the comments down below, or you can hit all 3 of us up on Twitter, as you heard. I love you all so much for your continued support. See you all next time. Bye.